Thanks for joining us. My name is Ibrahim Sani. Very recently, Raiz is a joint venture between Raiz Australia and PNB. We want to learn more about what Raiz has to offer and, of course, a little bit more about financial literacy. Joining me in the studio is Aidi Izham, the CEO of Raiz Malaysia. Aidi, let's talk a little bit more about Raiz. It has been around for about 2 or 3 years now. Let's learn a little bit more about the relationship between Raiz Invest Australia and PNB and the outfit that you're leading right now.
Right. Raiz is a joint venture company between Raiz Invest Australia, a publicly listed company in Australia, and Permodal National Berhad PNB in Malaysia. So Raiz has operations in Australia, in Indonesia, and in Malaysia. So I'm leading the outfit in Malaysia. So what Raiz is actually doing, Raiz is a robo-advisor, simply put, but a different breed of robo, I would say. Raiz is licensed under the Digital Investment Management license by the Securities Commission of Malaysia, so it's legit, right? So what Raiz is actually doing, the product is an app. It's an app that helps people to save and invest, but in a different and a very unique way. We help people to save very small amount of money. How small? As small as your spare change from your daily purchases. So that's basically what we're doing.
So how do you get these the little dollars and cents into the account? Like you were mentioning that this is like spare change. So how do you extract that spare change?
Right. Imagine this. After you've downloaded the app, you complete your profile, right? You will first be recommended an investment portfolio that suits your investment risk. So you could be an aggressive investor or moderate investor or conservative investor. And then what you do next, you just link your bank cards, your debit card and your credit cards to Raiz. And then just sit back and relax. Keep spending as usual. Raiz will be able to track your daily purchases. And then what we will do, we will round that transaction up to the next ringgit, and the spare change there will be safe. I'll give you an example. Say you spend at Petronas to fill up gas for 40 ringgit and 60 cents. So Raiz will round that up to 41 ringgit, and there's a 40 cents spare change there will be safe. So that 40 cents will go to your Raiz account.
So because of that, the average account balance would be very small right now?
Correct.
How many active users are there?
Well, after 3 full years of operations, we are reaching 120,000.
Sorry,
120,000
accounts.
active users.
Active users.
Account.
And then per balance per account?
Average balance now about 390.
Oh, that's still sizable, because I would assume it's below 100 ringgit. All right. And then, of course, I wouldn't ask about the returns, but are the returns competitive?
Well, if you are looking at on annual basis, as at July 31st, that's the latest data that we have, I would say it's okay. You know how the market performed last time, but take aggressive portfolio for an example. The return was about 4.6% around that number.
Because robo-advisor, because it's an ETF, can the user select the kind of ETFs that is being invested?
Right. For Raiz, it's slightly different. We don't use ETF. We use unit trust funds instead.
Oh, okay.
So those unit trust funds are sourced out from PNB unit trust funds.
Mm-hmm.
And when people invest, it's going to be fractionalized, and it will be invested into the portfolio. The main constituent of the portfolio are unit trust funds. For now, it's ASNB's unit trust funds. Okay,
and of course we know that ASB account holders run into the millions, as in the number of accounts. Would 120,000 be a far cry from, say, the normal PNB customer?
Right.
Or ASNB?
The constituent of the funds right at the moment, it is not a fixed price funds from ASNB. That means there's no ASB, there's no ASB2, there's no ASB3.
Yeah, I understand. What I'm trying to say is, because we're talking about PNB per se, so you have customers that are of ASNB customer makeup, and then you have this. The number is so far from, say, the total holders of ASNB accounts. So does that mean that 120,000 means too little for PNB?
I personally don't think so. I think for us, it's a number that we are very proud of, considering the main value proposition is spare change. Spare change here is just a hook that we use to hook customers. And then we are hoping to transition these users to a more, sophisticated products. But that said, there is not just spare change there. User can also invest, the normal way, lump sum, recurring investment. But here, the difference is that they can set daily, they can set weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly, but they can do it instantly, they can cancel it instantly in just a matter of a click. So we focus a lot on simplicity, on making sure the app operation is very smooth. So 120,000 so far, to us, is a good number that we have achieved. So.
When you say transition into more sophisticated products, what would be the ideas that you can share with us on that point?
Right. We have launched a custom portfolio where we allow user to select their own fund instead of us recommending them a predetermined funds. So they can select funds, they can even select the percentage, the allocation of the portfolio themselves. So that's one. Secondly, we will be introducing an improved version of Raiz Kids. So now it's 1.0 version. The next one is going to be 2.0, where we will let parents to educate their kids about saving and investing more.
So the account holders will be children or the parents?
The parents will still be the account holder.
Oh, okay. Why not the children?
Because of age.
Oh, there are age restrictions?
There is.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's now talk about a little bit more about some of the ideas on raising awareness when it comes to financial literacy. We know that financial literacy gap amongst Malaysians is actually quite low if we benchmark it against the market around the region. Let's look at some of the more prominent demography that is going to be impacted or could close the gap in terms of financial literacy. Where does Raiz Malaysia feel the need to address financial literacy gap in this country?
I think maybe I can share this. The data that we know after 3 full years of operation, the main challenge is financial literacy. The challenge to explain to an average Malaysians how when they invested 10 ringgit, the next day it could be 9 ringgit and 90 cents. They call our helpline and start shouting why my balance dropped below what I deposited. So that's the main challenge that we just discovered actually after operating for 3 years. Another thing I would say, the language barrier. So we first launched an English version. So later to find out that there is a strong demand for Bahasa Melayu, Bahasa Malaysia's version. So we did came up with a multi-language app now. So I think the main challenge for us is because our main target is average Malaysians, people on the street. So we did a quick survey. I think about more than 30% are very new to savings and investing. So they are not exposed to this at all. So that is our challenge.
Do you know the benchmark against, say, regional peers? Is that a little, 30%? Is that a lot?
Well, for us, having to being able to introduce 30% of new investors to the capital market, it's quite an achievement for us. In fact, that is a value proposition that we've shared with the regulator back then.
All right. And then what would be the comments from the regulator? Are they impressed?
I suppose so. And also, if you are looking at our investors demographic, number one, it's always Klang Valley. But number two, surprisingly, is Sabah and Sarawak combined.
Oh, are you surprised?
I am surprised.
Why?
Personally.
Sorry, not why you're surprised. Why is it that the take-up of Sabah Sarawak is high?
It's something that we are trying to understand also. I think maybe the idea of linking your everyday spending habit to savings, maybe it's new. I mean, from my personal experience.
Was the aggressive marketing happening in Sabah Sarawak?
No.
Oh wow!
We don't do anything.
So it's organic.
It's organic growth.
Oh, okay,
So
that's something interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Okay, and of course, I think the mandate by the regulator is always trying to grow financial literacy and financial products, not just in Klang Valley, but across Malaysia. Tell me more about Semenanjung, Kelantan, Terengganu, Kedah, Johor, those areas. What's the penetration rate like there?
Klang Valley is number 1, Sabah and Sarawak number 2, Sabah and Sarawak combined is number 2, and then Johor, and then Penang, and then the rest of the states. So we don't target specific states per se. Everything is organic.
What about the age of account holders?
Right. That's very interesting. I think 88% of our investors are between the age of 18 to 44.
Okay.
So that's very young demographic.
But the band is so big. What about 18 to, I don't know, 25? How many percentage is that?
18 to 35 itself, it's about 76%.
But it's kind of natural, right? Because digital financial products are more appealing for younger audience.
Yep, could be that could be, naturally that could be the reason, because Raiz is 100% digital. So of course our users must be of the digital, their literacy level of digital literacy it must be very, very good, because they need to know how to operate the app.
And then because of the digital literacy, I suppose, is quite high, not just among the younger Malaysians, but generally Malaysians altogether. But the financial literacy gap is there. What more is Raiz thinking of doing in terms of closing the financial literacy gap using digital financial products?
Right. I think for us, we strongly believe in tapping into something that people are very familiar with, instead of asking them to change their behavior. So that's it. That is the reason why we are tapping into their everyday spending habit. An example, when I wanted to save for my down payment for my house, my mom would say, "Aidi, stop spending, start saving." But we tell people differently. Just keep spending, but as you spend, you save. As you spend, you save. So what we are doing here is actually tapping into that everyday behavior. So hence the special investment is one thing, and to strengthen that value proposition, we even introduced one more feature, what we call a cashback investment, where every time they shop with our brand partners, we will receive a commission, which we will share it back with our investors. So now we have more than 100 plus brand partners in our platform, with the like of Shopee, Lazada, Asia, Agoda, So it's very simple the way it works. You just have to log into your app, click Raiz Rewards. We call it Raiz Rewards. Click Raiz Rewards and choose any of your brand there. And the moment you click, you will be taken to the brand's app. Just shop like usual, because we are able to track your activity there. So once your purchases are successfully completed, so you will earn that cashback, and that cashback will be in the form of savings back into your Raiz account.
So customer acquisition is very key, customer proposition as well, and of course, I want to learn more about the personnel inside Raiz Malaysia. Are they mostly PNB staff?
None,
including yourself?
I am the only PNB staff being seconded to Raiz to champion this initiative. The rest are not a PNB staff. So most of them are fresh grads, which they are trainees from the graduate executive trainees. We train them and then we absorb them. So most of them are fresh grads.
Oh, wow.
About half.
And of course, now I want to talk about the investment side. Do you have an investment committee? What would be the kind of work that you're doing in terms of the investment side? Do you have a chief investment officer, chief risk officer? How does that work?
Well, as a regulated entity under the heavily regulated industry, there is part of the requirement that we must have this, we must have that, and one of it is having not to say a committee, but an investment team that look after your investment portfolio. Yes, we do. So we have a licensed person within the company, myself as one, and then another staff, and then we have a licensed directors as well. So at the moment, our board composition are made of PNBs. Two are from PNB, the Chief Strategy Officer of PNB and CEO of SCNB. And then another 4 from Raiz Australia, the CEO and the COO, and some of them are fund managers themselves.
Let's talk a little bit more about some of the investment strategies that you're deploying right now. What is the philosophy behind trying to choose the best financial products right now for your customers?
I think for us, we focus a lot on teaching people how to save first. So yes, investing is a must, but that is second to us. Right now, we focus on instilling the habit of saving among our investors because, like I said, these people are very new to investing. They don't know what is the right way of investing yet because they are getting too used to the style of investing in fixed price funds, in the EPF way, the tabung haji way. So now our focus is to make sure to educate them what is the right way of investing. So going back to the philosophy for us, is always sikit-sikit, lama-lama jadi bukit. That has been the main philosophy behind the whole savings and investing activities.
Yeah, no, what I mean is from a CIO perspective, how are you deciding the kind of investment portfolios that needs to be looked at from that side, not from the customer acquisition side, nothing to do with the customer, just purely on the unit trust that you're selecting? What's the thinking behind it? Which ones to go after?
Right. So at the moment, it's very much Malaysian centric, domestic centric, across all the three.
This is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah.
Across all the three portfolios, and for the custom.
Sorry, what are the three portfolios?
The aggressive portfolio, the conservative portfolio, and the moderate portfolio.
Okay.
But for custom, that gives exposure to exposure to global investments.
And why not more global, considering that the returns could be higher?
For the custom portfolio, the custom
portfolio.
Custom portfolio, they are global centric.
Ah, okay.
They are.
And then, of course, when you look at the kind of possibilities of having a thematic theme, are you into that?
Yes, we are.
So what themes are there?
So at the moment, we are undergoing a 3-year portfolio review. So, well, the results of that, we will be reviewing all the portfolio asset allocation across all portfolios, and we could be introducing new portfolio as well, and we could be introducing new thematic portfolio.
Is it the traditional stuff like healthcare, robotics, stuff like that?
Could be could be semiconductor.
Oh yeah, because local, right?
Yeah, semiconductor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what we are looking at.
No healthcare?
At the moment, no.
All right. Technology, other than E&E? Also no?
At the moment, no. We're looking at semicon, gold, multi-thematic.
But of course, these are not launched yet. You're just looking at it right now.
Yep, going to be launched very soon.
Do you feel that that is an opportunity for your investors to learn more about thematic investments as well?
Yes, precisely. So the whole idea of custom portfolio is to start introducing to them to this kind of asset class. Right.
Let's look at the landscape right now, the wider macro landscape. Do you feel that 2023 is going to be a tough year for you guys? Not customer acquisition, but investment.
It has been tough all this while, especially the first half of the year. The first half of 2023 itself, if you're looking at how the domestic market performs, it wasn't good. It was about -7% if you're looking at KCI itself. But what we are seeing at the moment, it is recovering starting the second half. So
with interest rates rising, do you feel that fixed income returns could be also?
Yeah, fixed income return has started to get better. Even money market return has started to get better. Yeah.
So, you're optimistic about 2023 then?
To the fixed income, we are
Not so much equities.
skewed to the fixed income side.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So right now, what's the portfolio allocation for both?
Right now,
Well, money market as well, fixed income and equities.
for custom portfolio, of
Yeah.
course they can customize themselves.
But for the three,
For standard portfolios,
is that what we call it? Standard. Okay.
We call it standard portfolios.
Yeah.
For an aggressive portfolio, for an example, it's 80% domestic equity at the moment and 20% fixed income. So that's what we are looking at.
And the other side, the conservative.
Conservative is the other way around.
Yeah.
20% equity, 80% fixed income.
And when you talk to your investors, are you explaining these kind of ideas behind it, like the landscape of capital markets, the interaction or the correlation it has with interest rates, not just Malaysia, but of course the US and global interest rates as well? These kind of items, are these things being discussed?
Well, when we acquire them, considering most of them are very new, that comes second.
So what comes first?
The idea of instilling the habit of savings first. And then with Raiz, there is a continuous learning program where we will be sending a series of educational emails.
Invest Malaysia?
Yes, in BM and English. And there is via email, via a blog, which is published in the app itself. So it is made easily accessible for investors to read.
What about communities, Telegram groups, I don't know, stuff like that?
Yeah, we have a community page at the social media. Right now, there are about close to 30,000 of them. Quite a good number for us. So that is when the community will share their, when they start into something, they will post their inquiries there, and the rest will come and help out.
Okay. Yeah. Still on the investment landscape, do you feel that 2024, next year, is going to be a little bit more optimistic because things are getting better?
That's what we hope. As compared to 2023, with the stabilizing inflation, so we hope 2024 will have a better outlook. And for Raiz especially, where the economic condition is very much proportion to the number of people signing up and number of people, including number of people living as well.
Political risk is always there. Do you feel that political risk is stabilizing right now?
Political risk.
Domestically, at least.
Domestically. Well, we are very optimistic that the political will be stable moving forward after the election, especially the most recent election, and considering the next one will be in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
So we think 2024 will be a better.
And what about these long-term master plans that the government is introducing? Do you feel that these kind of ideas are going to be, I guess, bring about positive reaction towards the economy?
To the economy, that's what we hope, especially. Well, I am personally looking at the can't hardly wait, looking at how the government will look at reducing the fiscal deficit, especially.
You said at 3.5. So.
Yeah, and also I am interested to know about the possible reintroduction of new tax system. Could be CGT, it could be GST, right? We as an investment manager quite concerned with the introduction of CGT if there is, if that is coming through.
Why are you concerned about capital gains tax?
Because it's a capital gain, for every right
but
now.
But it's like 300 ringgit per account, like.
Yeah. Well, it will affect our investment as a whole.
Oh, really? How bad would it be?
When you as a fund manager, when they dispose of their investment of capital gain, that will be taxed off.
Yeah, but the idea
will
here is
affect.
also to tax on capital, not on labor, right? To
Yep.
widen the tax base.
Yep. I mean, for the investment point of view, for our investment point of view, if that is being taxed, that will affect the return to our investors. So consequently, that will affect our investors, our
And
chain
still,
as well.
like, you know, we've been having it easy. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that, you know, I enjoy all the taxes. I'm just trying to understand, you know, like investors must also be educated on the fact that you got to be taxed on your capital gains. It's as simple as that.
Yep. So at the moment,
It happens everywhere.
it happens
It's
everywhere.
except in Malaysia. So
Yeah, it's a challenge.
You know, like,
It's a new
hello.
yeah, it's a new challenge for us. It will be a new challenge for us
Yeah,
if that is true, lah.
yeah. But yeah, they're pretty soft on the
Yep.
commitment now. Okay. Final comments before we conclude our conversation.
Well, we have been a very strong proponent of telling people to start savings. So we are very much aware of the two major pain points of, survey by the Bank Negara. Malaysians in general hardly have 1,000 ringgit in their savings account as an emergency fund. The pinpoint with the EPF as well. So that is what we want to address. So we have been telling people that, you just have to start small, and then keep going and keep that momentum going. So over time, it will become a habit. So that's what we want to inculcate among us.
Especially on compounding interest, and if you start early, it's still going to be okay.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. If people learn more, download the app, how do they go about it?
They just have to download the app from the App Store and then start the registration process. Everything is a step-by-step process. Simple stuff, normal stuff. Start answering their personal profile, filling up their personal profile.
Is there a KYC involved?
Definitely.
Oh, like
There
a
will be a KYC.
photocopy of an
The
IC
normal
or something
KYC
like that?
process. The normal KYC process is the
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, if you learn more about Raiz Malaysia, just head on to the nearest app store on your mobile phone. For now, that was our conversation with Aidi Izham, the CEO of Raiz Malaysia. You can learn more about these kind of conversations on astroawani.com. You can just also head off to Notepad, my other show, to learn more about that as well. My name is Ibrahim Sani. Catch you in the next one.